industrial unrest and the Depression, it was with some irony that the Polish primate visited the shrine 50 years on and in similar circumstances. He'd come to see the contribution made by immigrant Poles to the construction of a shrine to St. Margaret, Queen of Scotland, and speaking through an interpreter, Cardinal Glemp acknowledged the help given by the Scottish people to Poland by providing medicine and food at a time, as he put it, of deep crisis in his country. And Scotland, said the Cardinal, had warmly accepted many Polish soldiers after the war. Tonight he's holding Mass in Glasgow for the Polish community in the west of Scotland.
He's been to Lanarkshire on the second day of his Scottish visit. He was keen to see a Lanarkshire shrine built in the 30s by local people. Bill McFarlane sends this report.
The Carfin Grotto was built by village miners to lift the spirit of a community ravaged by industrial unrest and the Depression. It was with some irony that the Polish Cardinal visited the shrine 50 years on, but in similar circumstances. He heard how immigrant Poles had helped build this monument to St. Margaret, Queen of Scotland. And Cardinal Glemp, speaking through an interpreter, thanked the Scots in turn for their generosity towards his compatriots.
The Scottish people has helped Poland, has helped in providing medicine, food, and other necessary products. I take this occasion to sincerely thank you on behalf of my fellow countrymen for the aid provided by numerous organizations and people of goodwill who have tried to help Poland in this difficult period.
The grotto, built almost in the backyard of the giant Ravenscraig steelworks, remains a focal point for Scotland's strong Polish community.
In Glasgow, Mike Smart reports.
For Scotland's Catholics, Cardinal Glemp's visit is turning into an event to remember. After last night's Mass in Edinburgh, where there was standing room only in St Mary's Cathedral, the diminutive Polish primate was soon surrounded by hundreds of people who braved the biting cold at a Polish memorial at Carfin near Motherwell, erected in 1982 to mark the Pope's visit. But as the Cardinal repeated in his remarks to them, his welcome to Scotland, the land of his ancestors, could not have been warmer. Again, the primate referred only briefly to what he described as the crisis back home, and again he thanked the people of Scotland for their support and relief work during recent years. Such was the enthusiasm of the crowd that a local school choir who practiced a hymn in Polish for the occasion was squashed together like sardines. And as he left the special Catholic grotto, built in the image of Lourdes by unemployed Scottish miners in the 1920s, the Cardinal can have been left in no doubt about the special affection felt north of the border for the Church in troubled Poland.
Mike Smarks reporting.
And hundreds of people turned out in Lanarkshire to see the primate visit the shrine at Carfin near Motherwell.
It was a quiet morning for the Cardinal, a brief respite from the enthusiastic crowds as he visited Edinburgh Castle and other tourist attractions with his host, Cardinal Gordon Gray, acting as guide. But the sunny weather disappeared almost as he left the city, and at Carfin Shrine near Motherwell, several hundred people waited in bitterly cold weather to welcome him at the Polish shrine. In the melee, local schoolchildren still somehow managed their Polish folk hymn to the Black Madonna. The Carfin Shrine was begun in 1922, and the Polish Black Madonna was added 3 years ago to commemorate Pope John Paul's visit to Scotland. Here, the children sang, and Cardinal Glemp paid tribute to the help that the Scottish people had given to Poland during what he called its deep crisis. Then there were handshakes for as many as possible of those present, especially the children, and the short visit over, it was on to Glasgow. Here, another warm welcome at St Peter's College, Newlands, before celebrating Mass this evening at St Peter's Partick for the Polish community in Scotland.